Good evening and welcome to Not the Show. I'm Joe.
And I am Mondo.
How are you, my friend?
I am well. I am well. How are you?
I'm great. I am doing well. Today's episode 62. And we had a week off last week. It was Easter.
Right.
Did you eat any bunnies?
You know what? No, actually, I did not. I ate plenty of jelly beans and things of that nature, but I didn't actually eat a bunny. I had a bunny, but I gave it to Ange.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we completely ignored the whole Easter thing.
Really?
We went away, so, ditched the fam. We went to Hershey.
Nice.
There's lots of chocolate stuff there.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, it's still very Easter, sort of, depending on what Easter is.
Yeah. Well, there was definitely a lot of candy around. There was Easter stuff going on. I mean, it was a special spring weekend up there, so there was Easter going on. It was fun. JoJo went on a couple rides.
I think today is still Easter if you're not a Catholic, like if you're a Russian Orthodox or something. I think it might be Easter today.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. So you still have a chance. You can still win the whatever it is, whatever prize there is for Easter celebration. There's no prize though, is there?
None whatsoever.
No. No Easter prize.
But we had a nice time. We escaped a bit, had a little vacation. 2.5 hour drive. That's not bad though.
No, not at all.
Yeah. It was good. We were happy that we kind of got away though.
Mary Ellen's got family out there. Her cousin Paul works for Hershey.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're closing down the plant that he works at, though, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So he's going to be going to the Reese's plant nearby.
Okay.
So he's going to get to eat Reese's cups right off the line.
That's fun.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't like
if you're into, I like Reese's cups. So actually, I wouldn't mind that at all.
I don't eat chocolate. Going to Hershey was kind of pointless for me.
Now everything's made out of chocolate, isn't it? Like the street lamps and
yeah, the street lamps are Hershey Kisses. Instead of like regular hoods, they look like Hershey Kisses. But other than that, the town is just a couple strip malls. There's like two big Hershey hotels. There's like a Hershey Botanical Garden. There's the Hershey Amusement Park, and then there's like the closed factory, the one that they don't currently. I don't know if it's the same one you're talking about, but they have right on the grounds where the amusement park is. There's the original Hershey factory that's got these giant silos that during the tour thing they tell you they haven't been used in years. So they must keep it around for show because it's the original.
Yeah.
Because it's the original, and there's these huge cool looking silos, 500 feet high or whatever. But it was neat. I hadn't been there since I was a kid.
I've never been.
No.
No, and I've been offered plenty of times because, like I said, Mary Ellen's got that. Her cousin's there, so. But I have yet to go.
Yeah, it's a weird place. There's nothing else there. It's in the middle of Amish country.
Right.
So, I mean, you can go and watch somebody churn some butter. There's a lot of cool looking farms nearby. And there's outlet malls. But, other than going to Hershey itself, there's really not a lot to do around there.
That's why I won't go.
Not the fact that now you're, 1,000 miles away.
Yeah, I know. That doesn't help.
No, certainly doesn't. So what else went on? Anything else this last 2 weeks before we dump into the news?
Not for me. No. Life is boring as usual. I think. I don't know. Is anything new on my end? Nope.
How's your half-broken phone?
Oh,
I joke, but your refurb phone. How's your refurb phone?
It's pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the 3D, the Evo 3D.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even a refurb. It was just pre-owned. Like,
okay.
Refurb might have been nice, but no, it works pretty good. The 3D is like they really I don't know what the point is because it just hurts your eyes. It's like the best you can really accomplish with a 3D picture, unless maybe maybe there's something wrong with mine, but the best you can do is, like, do you remember, like, years ago they still do it, there's those pictures that are like it's like two scenes,
mm-hmm.
and it's like, there's that weirdness in there, so that when you turn it,
I want to call that stereo baseball cards. They used to do a lot with baseball cards.
yes, they did. You could do shots like that, but since you're not actually getting like two action type shots, it's like you just see someone kind of shift. I've taken a couple of pictures that actually have kind of looked 3D, but for the most part, no, not really. But that's not why I got the phone. I got the phone for better memory and a better processor.
That's good then. I'm glad you're happy with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It doesn't work too great in the office. Jen from my job is in the chat room talking about how my phone is as bad as her baby girl phone. And, in the office, you don't get great signal. So when you're trying to watch something on YouTube or something, you may not get very good signal.
Yeah.
There's a couple spots where I can get some decent 4G. And that's, I try to keep my phone there when I'm listening to music. But yeah, for the most part, the office sucks for phones. So Jen's down on me about my phone.
All right, so that's cool though. It happens indoor, and I think 4G has a harder time inside buildings than 3G did. It has something to do with the nature of the signal. I'm not sure though.
Stupid phones.
Damn
it. We live in the future. It should be better.
I pre-ordered something the other day and I got laughed at.
What'd you pre-order?
There's this watch, right? And it's kind of like a big empty screen, like a bigger size, like a Casio almost, or it's just a blank screen. It's like a typical kind of digital rectangular shaped watch.
Right.
Kind of looks like an iPod Touch, maybe not iPod Touch, the little square Nano.
Right.
And what it does is it connects by Bluetooth to your cell phone. So it vibrates when you get a call. It shows you the caller ID on it, and it'll show you your text messages. It'll show you your email and the who it's from and the subject line. Things like that. It does more than that stuff. It also has apps that are built into it. So like, but it uses your phone's data to access those apps over Bluetooth. Anyway, and I got made fun of today. Jen was like, "Can't you just take your phone out of your pocket and look at those things?" I was like, "Yeah, but it shows me on my watch. What if my phone's in my pocket and I'm driving, and you message me and text message and say, stop and pick up milk? I won't have to dig for my phone. I won't miss your call. It'll tell me. It'll be like, oh, Jen wants me to get milk. I can't reply on the thing.
Right.
But my car has a button that I could push Bluetooth to call Jen. So if she's dropped me a message and I catch it on my watch, I can then push on my dashboard, call Jen, and it'll call her, and I can call her back."
Okay.
The truth is, all of that is moot in my car because when I'm in my car, my phone sits in like a phone dock, charging. Right. It's plugged into the car. So I was just using that as an excuse because I think it's cool. Maybe she's right. Maybe it's useless.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Now, is this the Pebble watch?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, it made $2.5 million in like 50 hours or something.
Yeah.
I mean, no worry about funding that thing.
No, they were asking for $100,000, and they're almost at 33. Not 33. They're almost at 3 million. They've got 33 days to go.
Wow.
To fund the project. So yeah, it's like
blew up.
It did. It blew up like insanely. I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I still might. I have 33 days.
I mean, for $100, I thought, hey, that's pretty good. It's just same price as most of my digital watches that I have now.
Right.
So yeah, so I figured why not. But Jen thought it was just a little silly. Once she sees me using it, though, she'll be jealous.
Yeah,
it always works. It also strikes me as a girl-friendly device because they like to keep their phones in purses and stuff. And so the thing vibrates, and I picture people unzipping your purse and digging through junk and then missing the call completely. If it was unimportant, you'd know right away whether or not you have to bother.
Right.
Jen, please stop that. It pops up on my screen and messes me up. It's not just on my phone. She's texting me, but with iMessage, it shows up on my computer too. So the corner of the computer, she's texting me from the other room. She's putting Jojo to bed. She's actually behind in the wall next to me. Yes, now she
Aw.
said hi. Do you even hear the little things going? They go woo woo woo.
Yeah,
woo.
I hear him.
You said hi back.
I did. But
So I think it's neat anyway.
absolutely, I love Kickstarter. I mean, I don't have the money to be funding half the stuff I want to fund,
No.
but my brother's project, which we that role playing card game that we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yes.
They did get their funding for that.
Oh, good.
That is going ahead.
That's good.
Once I get the game, I'll play it. I'll make Ange play it with me, and we'll review.
I think Jen wants me to say that she rules. Is that what you want, Jen? You keep texting even though I asked you to stop? Jen rules.
She does rule.
She does, I know.
I mostly say that right now because, buzz. I mean, this movie's not even out in theaters yet, and the buzz about how much Avengers is going to make is off the chart.
I already bought my ticket. I'm going to a midnight show Thursday night, midnight before it opens.
I might actually do that for this one. I don't normally get out to the movies as soon as I would like, but this one's a big deal to me.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I saw another trailer for it this week. Because I saw movies. Let's flash back. Speaking of 3D, I saw Titanic in 3D this week.
Nice.
I suppose. It's not the reaction I get from most people. Most people are like, "Why the hell would you do that?"
Well, I know if you were anyone else, I might say that. However, I know that you're a Titanic buff. I don't know if buff would be the proper word, but you for a long time, like you've been very interested in Titanic. You're a Titanic buff, so for you, I'm gonna say nice. Anyone else, I would have said, why, but
no, it was and it was nothing changed in the film. Except for that, it was remastered, so it was good looking, and the 3D was actually very good. Usually post production 3D is terrible.
right.
This was good, but and he changed the sky at the end.
Was there a reason for that? Oh,
yeah,
no, I read about this.
That physicist, the astrophysicist. I'm trying to find his name by just typing in astrophysicist because he's probably the most famous astrophysicist currently.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's him.
I don't know if I pronounced his name right, but yeah, I mean, I love that guy.
So he wrote to James Cameron and said that the star field at the end of the movie, when they're all in the ocean and the stars are very obvious, is incorrect for that place on the Earth in that time of year. So James Cameron fixed it. It was the only thing he fixed in the whole movie.
I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. I just said that, but that he did not know that just by looking. I don't care how smart he is. He didn't just look at that and be like, "Huh, that's wrong." He was probably sitting at home just like bored and was just like, "I wonder if that star field's right." And he looked at it and then felt like emailing James Cameron.
Yeah, he must have checked it out. He had to. It's possible. There's one scene where when she's floating on the block of wood, freezing to death, and Jack is when she doesn't bother to make any room for Jack to hop up on that piece of wood, even if like one leg each was hanging down to the water, so they would have been double amputees in the end, or some Blackfoot on each of them. They could have survived that thing. He could have gone. Why didn't they swim? Why did he start kicking from hanging off that log and head towards the lifeboats? Why did he start propelling it like a boat?
Right.
Or walk around, swim around, and find a floating deck chair. There were people hanging out on floating deck chairs around. Goddamn Jack could have lived.
He could have lived, but I'm still not convinced that he was dead when she pried his cold fingers off that board. I think he might have still been alive.
He could have been.
She killed him.
I think she did.
She killed Jack. My mother's also in the chat room. She went and saw it in 3D.
Yep.
She took Ange and Ange's friend Sarah. They went and saw it in 3D.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom said, there were a little bit of tears here and there.
Yep.
But of course, Ange being my daughter and me with my opinion of the Titanic movie, despite the fact that I think it's a good movie. I mean, I only like the second half.
Yeah.
She also giggled and stuff when when Jack was dying. Because, I make fun of that a lot.
Okay. I saw it with one person who's the weepy type, who's very emotional and obviously not Jen, emotional in that kind of movie, and who had seen it before, and another person who had never seen the movie ever. And so it was fun. It was fun to see it with someone who liked the movie enough to want to see it again, not for the history, but for the movie, and someone who'd never seen it. It was a good time.
Cool.
Yeah. I also saw The Cabin in the Woods.
I wanted to see that this weekend. I have not yet. I might go see that on Tuesday. How was that?
It was very good.
I thought so.
I thought it was quite excellent. Jen said, and she's not screaming through the wall, but I know she's thinking it if she can hear me. It was not a horror movie. She keeps saying over and over again, "This is not a horror movie." So I think she's a bit jaded, and that's why she didn't think it was a horror movie. She doesn't think any movies are horror movies. Nothing ever scares her in the theater.
Right.
There was some kind of, it was more of like the shocking thing than horror. Something
right, like
jump.
make you jump.
Right. So there was a few of those moments, but she said she never jumped. But people in the theater were jumping and screaming a bit. So I give it to the movie that it was a horror movie as well as whatever it was. I don't want to give anything away because there's a lot to give away if we go into too much detail.
Yeah, I'll find out this Tuesday.
Yeah, it was very good. Maybe we'll talk if you see it this week. We'll talk about it.
That sounds good.
Next week.
Joss Whedon and Thor.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that like Chris Hemsworth was in it until recently.
Yeah, he was the jock.
Thor the jock.
Thor the jock.
Thor the jock Kirk.
Yeah.
Angela threw out my mother's soda.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's not supposed to throw out your mom's soda?
Well, I gotta say, my mother would have continued to drink that soda, and I'm guessing that it was soda bought at the movie theater, and it's like when you spend like $6 for like a small soda,
mm-hmm.
You probably don't want to have it thrown out.
No, probably not.
That's probably what the big thing is about that. Also, it was my mother's soda. I guess Ange didn't have the right to throw it away, but the kid was trying to clean up for once, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, my mother said she could have bought a case for that money, and she could have easily. But yeah, now these things happen. Ange reminded me of you today, actually, Joe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's throwing garbage out the car window. It was biodegradable garbage. It was like strawberry tops.
I haven't done that since my youth.
I know.
Ah, the memories.
Yeah, you used to get mad if people held on to garbage.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. I was a terrible person.
Yeah, Andrew's throwing strawberry tops out of the car.
See, that's not so bad. Oh, that's not bad in the environmental sense. Jen would have a problem with that because animals will go into the street to eat them and get hit by cars. Birds.
See, that's what I was telling Ange. And I also told her, like, when you start driving, like, a cop will pull you over for throwing anything out, biodegradable or not.
It's true. It's true.
I was like, plus, it's messy, bugs, animals and stuff. Animals can get damaged, like, trying to eat the thing. And, it's biodegradable, but it's a mess.
It is. It's not great. We've been talking about movies a bit. I should play the movie drop.
Here is some money. Take him to the movies or something.
Movie drop.
Movie drop.
It was a little low. Oh, because I never raised the volume back up after I played the song.
Here is some money. Take him to the movies or something.
That was better.
There we go. Movie drop.
Now I feel better about it. Yeah, so I bought popcorn at first of all, the movie ticket for over here now is like for 3D IMAX, is it 3D IMAX? Is Avengers 3D? I know I bought IMAX for Avengers. I must have bought 3D IMAX for Avengers.
It's probably going to be 3D IMAX,
with the $1 Fandango fee, because I bought it in advance, there was $19 for that ticket.
Wow, for one ticket.
One ticket, yeah.
Wow.
The regular movie when we saw last night was, I think it was 13 for the two. For the 14, the 8 and 8. No, it's got to be 12, not 12 each. Maybe it was 12 each ticket for the regular movie here. That's about
a lot.
Right. Yeah, that sounds about right though. 12 a ticket, and the popcorn. I got a large popcorn, and a large soda, $13.75.
See, yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Now here we got one of our local movie chains. It's regional. I don't know if it's a national chain, but you get this bucket. It's like a large bucket.
Mm-hmm.
I think it holds more than that clearly a large popcorn would. And you pay like $20 for the bucket, but it's your bucket for the year, and when you bring it back, it's like $3.50.
Wow.
And then, to fill it up as many times as you want, $3.50.
That's a good deal.
Well, $3.50 each time, but
sure.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a good deal. I got one last year, and I got one this year. And I didn't see too many movies in the theater last year, and I saw like 3 movies of that bucket, and
mm-hmm.
I did a little more than break even last year.
No, that's good because here we get free refills on our buckets, but you can only use it the same day. And I don't know anyone who could eat for 2 movies in a row could eat 2 of those buckets of popcorn. I don't know. I know I couldn't.
Right.
I suppose if I was seeing like 3 movies in a row, I may be able to skip 2 hours and get another bucket for the last movie, for the third movie. But I don't think I could eat 2 buckets in a row. That's
probably not.
According to in New York, we have laws that any kind of fast food places have to have calorie counts on all those signs.
Yeah.
A large bucket of popcorn is 980 calories without butter.
Damn, without butter.
Mm-hmm. Crazy, huh?
Wow. That's crazy.
That's like a full meal for me, anyway. Maybe I shouldn't be eating 3,000 calories a day, but it's, somewhere in there.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Now, Tuesdays at our local movie theater, we've also got like $1 drinks and $1 popcorn, like a small popcorn and a small drink for like $1.
That's good.
Yeah, they only do that Tuesday. So Tuesday, I'll probably still bring my bucket because it'd still be worth more. But only $1 for the small sodas. It's gonna be worth it.
Cool. So what are we watching? I guess we can call this the what are we watching portion of the show. TV this week. We watch anything good? I watched Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, last Sunday. Game of Thrones has been really good so far. So you're caught up because we missed. We had the show the night Game of Thrones aired. Was the last time we did a show.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a chance to talk about it, and then last week we had off for Easter.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are you thinking so far of Game of Thrones?
I was bored first episode. I thought the second one. I thought the second one was better. I mean, I realized that it's a catch-up episode and introducing characters for people who've been away for a whole year or never watched the first season.
Right.
But the second episode was better. But again, I'm finding myself fast forwarding to things I'm bored with. There are certain storylines that I like better. Like I like the Jon Snow storyline, and I like the Cersei storyline. And I like seeing anything with the little man, the midget,
Tyrion.
With Tyrion. But then in the middle of that, we get to the stuff with the witch and the 2 brothers that are fighting against each other for the throne, and I'm bored with the 2 of those guys. I don't remember either of their names. Right, one of them
Stannis was the
right, Stannis.
And I don't remember what the other guy's name is. The pirate, the one missing all of his fingers.
Right, and so I'm a little, I'm like whatever with that stuff, but it's all part of the story, and I guess that maybe I'll get into it as I keep watching. I'm not giving up on it.
No, don't give up on it, of course, because things will get exciting, but it's like, how long before they get exciting? I mean, you got to have. We need. I think you need a little more action. It's like watching the first half of the Walking Dead season.
Yep. You're right.
Which was, it was still good. I mean, it was all good, but it was just, oh God, they weren't doing nothing. They did a couple of things, and then they just sat around.
There's a little news about Game of Thrones. Also, season 3 was already after the pilot aired this year. They renewed for season 3.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and they said that season 3 will probably be half of the 3rd book, and season 4 will be the other half of the 3rd book. I think they said that it's too long to fit in one season. They said they don't know what's going to go where, that they won't want it to feel like a 2-part season. And he says that Damon Lindelof says, I'm sorry, not David, it's David Benoff. Damon Lindelof is the other guy. He says that 2 of his favorite scenes from the entire saga are in season 3, or I guess even in book 3. It's going to be in season 3, so that's good that it's already renewed. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's going to be suck like if it gets canceled eventually.
Yeah, if it doesn't get to some kind of conclusion. I mean, the books haven't even concluded, right? The books haven't even concluded, so.
No, the books haven't concluded at all. I think we're looking for like 2 or 3 more books over the course of the next 20 years.
Yeah.
No, it probably won't be that long.
Maybe not.
I hope.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. What else are we watching? We're watching Fringe? You caught up on Fringe?
Yes, I'm all caught up on Fringe.
Fringe is still awesome.
It is, and everybody's now okay with the fact that this is the same universe Peter left, just different because he died.
That's
which
right.
Is nice.
That's right. And you know what? Throughout most of the season, I was thinking to myself. First of all, we all knew that this was Peter's actual world, right? that we all figured out early on, way before Peter figured it out.
Right.
And throughout the season, I was always like, well, when are they going to finally revert back? When is he going to figure it out and fix time? But at this point, I don't think they're going to, and I don't think they have to. I like the new personalities. It was a good way to give these actors more range and give us a new experience with these same characters, right? Because they're all a little bit different. Walter is certainly a little different, and
right.
And I mean, even though Olivia is kind of reverting to old Olivia, which she's supposed to, I get that part. He's not gonna go back. It's not gonna go back. Peter's back, and there's no way to fix what transpired. And I think that it works. I think that I'm happy with them the way they are, even.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This was a good episode this week. Every episode recently has been involving the mythology because it's coming to the end of the season, I think.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of that. Our villain, we've seen a lot of him. I can't remember his name.
Me either.
Jones. Something
Jones.
David Jones.
Right.
Lee Harvey Oswald, David Jones, or something.
Yeah. So.
And he's just been up to no good.
Yeah, and he's been doing some sneaky stuff, and doing a bunch of experiments towards some end that we really don't know what his goal is. It's interesting.
Yeah, he tried to get Broyles to sabotage the machine.
He did, and I thought Broyles was a shapeshifter all along, but actually Broyles isn't. He's just blackmailing Broyles.
Right. Yeah, I thought he was. I thought he was a shapeshifter too. It seemed like that's where they were going with that, and I'm kind of glad he's not.
It's good that it's a little different. Although to me, once Broyles had that medicine, he's blackmailing him by giving him medicine for his kid.
Right.
Why not take a vial of that medicine and give it to Walter or Walternate or both, and see if someone else can replicate it? I suppose that's what they'll do now, but and I guess if there was no way to replicate it, he was burning that bridge because they would all know.
Right.
So I don't know. I guess it's not a realistic theory to try and make more of whatever serum he was giving the kid.
Yeah, I bet you Walter could figure it out, though.
That's what I thought immediately. I was like, give that shit to Walter. Walter figured that out right away.
Walter would have figured it out in half the time while he was sleeping.
Walter figures out everything.
Super genius.
Yeah.
So they filmed 2 final episodes for the season.
I heard that too.
Yeah, because we still don't have word on whether or not we're coming back next year.
Yeah. I did hear, and this is oldish news, that the odds are better than they used to be. That by adding 13 more episodes at least, it makes syndication more valuable to them. And so even if it may cost them money because it doesn't have good enough ratings, in the end it may make them more money to have whatever it is, 50 episodes, or there's a number that they'd like to get to of episodes that make syndication more valuable.
Yeah, typically it's 100.
It's 100, so whatever it was, 100 or whatever. So there may be a better chance than not that it's that it'll be back anyway. But it's good to know that they have a plan. If they don't, I'd be disappointed.
I think it's also another reason why they let Chuck go to season 5.
Yeah,
for the same reason, to get to the 100 episode magic number for what do you call them? Syndication.
Yeah, I read that same thing.
Oh, I don't think Chuck actually got to 100 episodes. I mean, maybe it did, but I don't think it was quite 100. But maybe it's like close enough for.
Maybe. Let's take our break. And then when we come back, we'll talk about some more stuff. We got some more movie stuff and some more TV stuff. And some tech stuff this week.
Tech stuff. We haven't talked tech stuff in a while. Well, except for that watch.
Yeah. There's been little stuff. You know, we had an iPad lately. And you still thinking about getting an iPad?
Eventually, yeah.
Cool.
Someday.
So, for this week's podcast brought to you by Audible.com. For all of you out there, the listeners of Not the Show, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. I love Audible. They have, it's audiobooks. They're great books with great readers. They have all the biggest books out there. They've got Hunger Games books. They've got Stephen King books. They have everything.
Dresden Files.
Yeah. And so you get 30 days free. If you sign up for a 30-day trial, you get one book for free. You get to keep that book forever. It'll play on iPhone, iPad, Android phone, Kindle. And you get to keep that forever. Even if you don't stay with the service, you can keep the app and you can keep playing that one book over and over again. Maybe it's your favorite book ever. You can listen to it forever. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/nottheshow. Again, that's audibletrial.com/nottheshow for your free audiobook download.
Do it now.
We'll be right back.
Whose song is that remembered at random serpentine through fatty coils emerging? Some other thought it's thinking. This light shines above the houses on the ground. This illumination visited upon the whole land. Unmarked helicopters hovering. The Lord is coming soon. Here comes the supercopter, here comes the noise it makes. The demon was an idea, the demon is awake. Well, scratch mark left across the surface of your mind. This hour now upon us, the hour is now arrived. Unmarked helicopters hovering. The Lord is coming soon.
There's the television. All right there. All right there. Look, listen, Neil, pray. Commercials.
And we're back.
We are back.
That
was Soul Coughing, Unmarked Helicopters from the Songs in the Key of X album. You remember that album?
That's it. That's it, man.
I had a bit of a malfunction there. Sorry. Of course I do.
It was that music inspired by the X-Files.
Mm-hmm. The reason why you picked that song was because we're talking about X-Files a little today, right?
Yeah. Okay. I did. It's in my list of songs to eventually play here. So, yeah, it worked out well.
Cool. So, first thing I want to ask you is which X-Files movie was the one where, in the end, there was somebody animating severed heads.
That was the I want to believe that was the second one. That was a Monster of the Week movie.
Right. So
as opposed to the overall mythology.
The first one, there was the flying saucer at the end, and Scully was trapped in there, and Mulder broke Scully out of a flying saucer, and then she forgot it all.
Right. That happened in between seasons 4 and 5, or 3 and 4, or something. That was like something that it was like a tie-in.
Right. So along with the mythology of the show.
Right.
Okay. And then the second movie was that Monster of the Week thing.
Right. With Billy Connolly. As a psychic pedophile priest, ex-priest, like he was like in a program or something, and he could figure out that that like these Russian scientists were cutting off people's heads, trying to transplant someone else's head onto their bodies.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
it was a really. I thought the movie was really good. Most X-Files fans, well, most people. I don't know how many of them were real good X-Files fans, but a lot of people really did not care for that movie whatsoever.
Yeah, I know.
But I think they were expecting something, with the mythology.
Yeah.
And there wasn't. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Was there a movie after that, or that was it?
That was it.
Okay. So now they're talking about the possibility of another movie.
Another X-Files movie.
Right. Frank Spotniz. He's the original producer of the X-Files. He thinks that he may want to do another movie. There's a very active fan campaign for last movie. He says he feels it would be a terrible shame if it didn't happen. David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson have already expressed publicly they'd like to do a final movie to give the series closure.
They should have. I mean, I don't care when they do it. I want to see it. I'll see it whenever it's released. But I really think it should have been released this year.
Yeah, it's
2012. This is when
End of the World.
End of the World, and this is the date that the aliens were going to take over.
Right. I wonder if that's why they chose to do. Oh, it's their 25th anniversary. That's why they're doing a special, airing next Sunday night, 8 p.m. on. It doesn't say Fox on Fox.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the Fox 25th anniversary. Oh, so it's the 25th anniversary of Fox. Can you believe Channel 5 has been Fox for only 25 years now?
I know it's
here in New York. It's Channel 5 anyway.
Right. Here for me, it's Channel 10.
I don't remember what it was before. It was nothing, right?
It was nothing. Yeah.
Right. PIX was 11, and then PIX became WB, and then WB became CW.
Right.
But Fox just didn't exist. It was just a channel. It wasn't a network anything.
Right. It was WNYW.
Right. Anyway, so there's a special airing next week. They said the subject of a movie may or may not come up during that anniversary special. All three of Duchovny, Anderson, and Carter will all be appearing in the anniversary special.
I'll actually have to watch this. Normally, I don't watch things like this. But
Me neither. ScienceFiction.com didn't like the second movie as much as you did.
Yeah, I'm telling you, a lot of people they didn't want to spend their $8 or however much a movie ticket was on a Monster of the Week episode. But I thought it was a very good Monster of the Week episode.
It says a third X-Files movie will be able to erase the monstrosity of the last one and give the series the ending it truly deserved.
Oh, that is so unfair. I think out of 3 movies, if one of them is a Monster of the Week and the other 2 are mythology, I think that would, that outpaces the, mythology to Monster of the Week episodes in the on the series.
Yeah, it definitely does.
To be honest, I mean, I don't know. I think if the second movie was more mythology, I might have gotten tired. I might have been like,
You're right. Who knows? Yeah, it was what it was. I didn't think it was terrible. I think I liked it.
I will say, I do like a lot of movies that other people think are terrible.
Me too. I find myself never saying I don't like a movie. If someone says, "Did you like this?" I almost always say yes. I can't think of a movie that I would say, "No, I didn't like it." Even bad movies, sometimes I like. Maybe I'm just a bad person to ask if they like a movie.
It depends what you're looking for. I mean, a lot of movies that I like that I even know they're bad movies, but I like them because they were fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've liked all 3 Transformers movies because they were good movies. Absolutely not. But you know, they were fun to watch.
Like, I know this guy, and he constantly makes fun of like some movies that I think are really great fun, like Independence Day, Men in Black, you know, Jurassic Park. I mean, they're all from that time back then when we were
Right.
young and seeing movies every week. But I don't have any problems with any of those movies, and this guy thinks they're so awful that, like, I don't know. I mean, he's a dick, but that's beside the point. He really is. He's a big dick.
Yeah, no, all those movies were good. They were fun. I mean, Independence Day, was it a great movie? No. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Sure was.
It was, you know, Jeff Goldblum was saved the world with his Apple laptop.
It's a shame that Jeff Goldblum wasn't in all. He was in Jurassic Park. He was in Independence Day. What was the third movie I mentioned? Men in Black. See, now Jeff
in
Goldblum.
Black.
He wasn't in that one. Too bad he wasn't in all three. That would have been funny.
But Will Smith was, though.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't in Jurassic.
No, Men in Black 3's coming out though. It looks pretty decent actually. Did you see they got who they have to get to play young Jay?
Young Jay?
Young K?
Young K, yeah. Young K is going to be that dude from the Goonies. George W. Bush. Can't remember his name. Josh Brolin.
Yes, Josh Brolin. He does a really good job. I saw a trailer this weekend. He does a really good job with his impression of Jay. K.
It seems like he would. I haven't seen the trailer. I'll have to watch the trailer, but
Yeah, he's pretty good. Looks like they're going to reboot The Mummy from the writer of Prometheus, John Spice. Spice. How do you pronounce Spaihts?
I think you're pronouncing it right, probably. Yeah, you got it right.
They're rebooting the Mummy franchise. He's writing the first draft. I guess they're considering the Brendan Fraser versions reboots of the 1932 original. So, yeah, he's gonna change it, open it up to an epic scale, blah blah blah. I like the Mummy movies in general.
Yeah, I enjoyed them.
Yeah, it's good stuff. What other movie news do I have here? I have Hellraiser is going to become a TV series.
On Nicktoons.
It's going to be a weekly television show. It says it's going to be an anthology type show in the same manner as American Horror Story, focusing on different people who obtain the puzzle box and the Cenobites. No network associated with the series yet. See, that's not a good sign.
No, that's not a good sign.
It's just another silly rumor, maybe. It was in Variety, though. Sonar Entertainment is developing a series. I guess they'll find a place to sell it. It says, nothing else. It will thrill audiences worldwide.
The first bunch of movies were good horror movies.
They were. Jen is a huge Hellraiser fan. Remember that? What a weird movie! What a weird movie to be a huge fan of.
Yeah, I do remember that.
When we talked about scary movies yesterday, when she said that Cabin in the Woods didn't scare her, she said Hellraiser did. She said The Ring scared me. Hellraiser scared me. She said Event Horizon may be the scariest movie I've ever seen. That's what she said.
I don't know if it's the scariest movie I've ever seen, but I got to agree with her on the fact that those were kind of scary movies.
They were.
Event Horizon was definitely a scary movie.
And that was the point I made to her, is that something like Scream, which scares teenagers, it's still considered a horror movie, even though it didn't scare her. And that's how I felt Cabin in the Woods was kind of in that same vein. It didn't scare her because it's basically a monster movie and a surprise out of your seat kind of movie. With some huge awesomeness thrown in that I'm trying not to give away. But yeah, so Hellraiser TV show. If it's not on like Showtime or HBO, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, probably not.
I'd be willing to guarantee not good.
Do you remember Friday the 13th? Not Friday. Well, the Friday the 13th, the series, which actually had nothing to do with Friday the 13th. It was like Warehouse 13.
Yes.
But what I was thinking of was Nightmare on Elm Street, the series.
Nightmare on Elm Street, the series. No.
That was kind of just like a horror anthology show. I mean, it didn't have a lot to do with Freddy Krueger at all, but he was kind of like the host. He was like the crypt keeper.
Okay. That's just odd.
They could eventually maybe do something like that with Hellraiser. Maybe like have Pinhead introduce,
show up in the beginning, just a silhouette like Hitchcock.
Yeah,
Doot.
With all those pins sticking out of his head. But oh boy.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's talk about Prometheus a bit.
Prometheus. When is that coming out? Soon. Not soon enough.
July. Yeah. I don't know July when. I can tell you if in exactly 1 second. Prometheus is June 8th, not July. June 8th. That's not so far off. Just over a month.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I own it.
Three Stooges was #1 this week, by the way. Fucking Jen with her $1 movies.
Yeah, I know.
Could you believe Three Stooges was #1?
I can't. But however, I've heard a lot of good things about it. That I've been very surprised that I've heard so many good things about the Three Stooges movie.
Yeah.
Because who's got something good to say about a Three Stooges movie?
Yeah.
But apparently it's really good. I'm going to have to...
And they're saying it spans the years. Young people think it's, funny. And then there's the people our age that think the Farrelly brothers are funny. And then there's people that older than us that think the Three Stooges were funny. So it kind of spans the years in audience members. I guess.
Guys, I was watching South Park the other day, and they did there's a Three Stooges homage in there. Satan had his Halloween party, and he was getting a Ferrari cake, and they sent Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, and Ted Bundy to go pick the cake up and bring it to the Halloween party, and they played them off like the Three Stooges.
That's funny.
So yeah, Three Stooges. I guess I don't know. I'm not going to go see it in the theater.
Nor am I.
But I guess when it comes out on DVD, I might pick that up at Redbox or something.
Good luck with that.
I'll go so far as to pay like $1.50 or whatever.
I was never a big Three Stooges person.
Me either. I mean, I liked them. I thought they were funny. But if there was something else on, I probably would have watched that.
Sure. I agree. No Three Stooges for me.
I was a huge Three Stooges fan, and then I started kindergarten, and
So back to Prometheus. Ben Blacker and David Lindelof sat down with the Nerdist podcast, and they recorded 90 minutes of talk on, just lots of stuff, wide-ranging interview. And so there's a bit of a quote here defining what he considers a prequel and why he doesn't think that Prometheus is an Alien prequel. So he says, I'll read his little quote here. The thing about a prequel is, as fascinating as it may be to watch Anakin turn to the dark side of the Force, there's an inevitability to it. When you go into the prequel, it can only cover A to Y, and then Z is going to be the pre-existing material. You can't end it in an exciting or surprising way. You can only end it in the inevitable way. When I go to see the Thing prequel, for example, I'm assuming this movie is going to be the sequence of events that led up to a dog being infected by the Thing and then being chased by a helicopter across the frozen tundra. Because I know what happens next because I saw the Thing. And that's exactly what it was. So, okay, that's his description. Now let me skip down to when he talks about Prometheus. In my opinion, in order to define Prometheus as a prequel, it is set in the Alien universe. If you just watch the teaser trailer, you see how the word Prometheus reveals itself, or look at the production design. You don't need me to tell you anything. So the next question is it a prequel to Alien? And to that, he can't really answer the question because his definition of a prequel, the A to Y definition, I hope it's not. I hope that this movie can be surprising. The ending of this movie, the sequel to Prometheus, is not Alien. The sequel to Prometheus, if it does well and people like it, would be another movie that goes off in its own direction that runs tangential to Alien. It's interesting, I thought.
It is interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, because we definitely see the ship that crashed on LV.
426.
Right. You know, because it's
Geek.
definitely the right ship. Right. And we definitely see the same sort of aliens inside of it. At
Right.
least the space jockey is definitely in both places. But it's interesting to think that maybe whatever race of alien we're going to see in this movie, or whatever happens to these people, is not the same thing. You know, perhaps it's even what happened to the aliens is caused by whatever's happening in Prometheus, and that's why it could go in two different directions. It's interesting, but again, we'll have to see on June, because I don't remember what day it was, June 6th or whatever.
Right.
But
you know, have you read all of the Ender's books, Ender's Game,
no,
or like enough of the big ones anyway?
the first couple, I think.
You know, I could kind of see maybe where they're coming from, because they got, you know, I mean, they're all, you know, the Ender's thing, and then they did the books about Bean.
Yeah.
And you know, the first one was basically the same story from Bean's point of view, but then it definitely went off into a different direction. The same universe, the same material, and there's definitely places where, like, you know, they touch again. Not the characters, that would be creepy,
Yeah.
but the you know, the stories touch again. So yeah, I mean, all right, I can accept all this stuff that Lindelof's saying here. And it gives me a new way of thinking about it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. It makes me look forward to the movie even more. Every time I hear more about it, I want to see it even more, and I'm even happier that I bought it for my movie trail, our movie game. I don't know that it'll do well, but I'm happy that I want to see it.
Right.
That's it for movie news. We'll switch over to a little bit of tech news before we call it a night. The first thing is movie news and tech news at the same time. Ashton Kutcher will be playing Steve Jobs in the first of the Steve Jobs movies that's coming out.
Nice.
I suppose he looks like him. You know, there's a picture.
He does look like him.
There's a picture up on The Verge where I got this article, and he looks like young Steve Jobs. I can't see him, the bald, cancer-wasted Steve Jobs, but that's not where they're going with it. From new news for this weekend's new news about this is that it'll be Steve Jobs up till year 2000. So that's about the same amount of years that was covered by Pirates of Silicon Valley. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah, a long time ago. I was about to ask you, who played Steve Jobs in that one?
The guy who played the guy who was in Carter from ER.
Right. Okay. Yep.
He was also in those USA movies where he played Indiana Jones type the librarian movies.
Right.
I don't remember his name.
Noah
Wiley. Right. He played Steve Jobs, and the geek from the Breakfast Club.
Farmer Ted. I can't remember his real name.
The geek kid from the Breakfast Club who also played the
Anthony Michael Hall.
Anthony Michael Hall, who was also Dead Zone guy. He played Bill Gates in that.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, this will be the first of the Steve Jobs movies. It's not the one that was based on the book that just came out, the one that actually had Steve's approval before writing it. So that movie won't be out for a couple of years. And I think that movie will go to the present, like the book does.
Interesting.
Yeah, I suppose I'll see it. So I don't know if Ashton Kutcher's a good enough actor to play a complex person like Steve Jobs. Maybe he's not so complex. Maybe he's just a big jerk that was also rich and a genius.
Mrs. Kutcher is going to be playing the Apple Mac too. No, it's terrible.
The last of our stories is Facebook bought Instagram. Do you use Instagram on your iPhone, on your Android phone now that it's out?
Not yet.
You have to get that.
Yeah.
It's basically just a picture-taking app that you could put things on your bad pictures to make them look like bad old pictures.
Right.
Facebook bought it for $1 billion.
It's crazy.
Yeah, 13 employees. Zuckerberg says they're not going to change it. It's going to stay separate, which is probably half bullshit and half truth.
Right.
I'm sure there'll be some kind of better integration with Facebook pictures at some point or another.
Sure.
The lead guy, the guy who founded Instagram, gets 400 million of that money just for himself because he's the biggest shareholder. And that's pretty crazy news.
That is crazy news.
Right. So first the Android app came out, and all the iPhone people very douchily said, "Now there goes the neighborhood. All of you Android folks with your bad cameras are going to be mixing in with our iPhones and our good cameras and soiling it all up." And so they were like, "We don't like this at all." And then a week later, Facebook buys Instagram, and then the rest of the people on Instagram were like, "Oh no, there goes the neighborhood again." Now Facebook, which we all hate because we're hipster snobs, bought out our cool hipster app where we had our own little private club here. It was just us iPhoners with our horn rimmed glasses and our fancy hats and our neck beards, and it's ruined it for everyone. And of course, and over the next 2 weeks after that, it became the #1 app in the Apple App Store and added 20 million Android users to the already 30 million users to begin with.
I fucking hate hipsters. You realize we're like, you and I are like we're just douchebags away from hipsters. It's like if we were douchebags, we'd be hipsters.
Yeah.
But we're not douchebags.
No, we're not.
I don't think so anyway.
I don't think so either.
Fucking hipsters.
And so on that note, let's call it a night.
All right.
Oh, there's a bunch of Stephen King news. Let me touch on a couple of Stephen King stories before we call it a night. I'm not going to go into too much detail because we will. There'll be a new Discordia podcast coming out this week where we will talk in detail about the interview Stephen King did with Neil Gaiman, or Neil Gaiman, however you want to pronounce his name.
Gaiman. And
a couple of the crazy things that were said in that interview, including one. There's a new book called Joyland, about an amusement park serial killer. And the other, the crazy. We're gonna have to discuss this on Discordia. Stephen King is hinting that he's going to write himself out of the final 2 Dark Tower books. That he was going to take the character of himself, which is in the 5th and 6th Dark Tower books, and replace it with, I suppose, a fictional author.
He should replace it with Richard Bachman.
Yeah, that's it. Put Bachman in there.
It solves a bunch of problems. He's not really writing himself out of the book, and we can discuss this on Discordia.
Yeah, we'll talk more in detail about it on Discordia. What else is there? Ghost Brothers come out. It's being pretty well reviewed.
Except for by people who haven't seen it.
Except for by people that haven't seen it. There's the first chapter of Dr. Sleep is out in audio now. You can find it online. The New York Times commented on the failure of Carrie. They called it a failure. It's a shame, huh?
It is a shame.
Yeah.
Plug it up.
We have a date for the reboot of Carrie. The new Carrie movie with Chloe Moretz will be released in March 15th, 2013.
Nice.
Yeah. Carrie the musical will get a cast recording. See, some of these stories we don't even have to talk about on Discordia because they're just quick hits. And You Can't Kill Stephen King, the independent film, won for a People's Choice Award in the Lewiston Auburn Film Festival that it was entered in. It's in Maine.
Nice.
I know we played the trailer somewhere. We must have played it on this show. The trailer for You Can't Kill Stephen King.
I think we did.
I think so because it's the other show's audio only, and I think we only did that because we had video here.
Right.
And that's it. There's a bunch of Stephen King stuff we'll talk about this week on Discordia 19. You can read about all those same stories at Discordia19.com, and you can download the podcast over there also. We'll record sometime middle of the week and post it later this week. And that's our show for tonight.
Yeah. You can find us all over the place.
Yeah, nottheshow.com. We're on Twitter, we're at Not The Show. Facebook, we're at Not The Show. And you can subscribe on iTunes. You could subscribe on RSS. You can follow us, like us. There's apps. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, review us.
Yeah, definitely leave a review. That'd be nice. Nobody ever leaves reviews.
No,
Bastards.
bastards.
And that's it. talk to you during the week, man.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.
Small bones, small bodies, sink into semantics. The slightest X gives the tiniest exoskeleton. She said.